This is actually one of my greatest criticisms of modern so-called feminism, is because I believe what it does and what it's doing is it actually takes the masculine standards as the standard, right?
Explain that a little bit.
What I mean is that the goals of feminism are always aspiring towards masculinity.
Yeah.
It was almost like we want women to be more like men. We want women to be able to do all these things that men do. We want women to do them and to be in those spaces. When people are complaining about the lack of female CEOs or the lack of women in this industry or in that industry or whatever, you're saying you want more men, you want women to go into these male-dominated fields and to compete and to have the same desires and wants and therefore outcomes that men do. Very few. There are probably 10 times more men who even want to be the CEO of a company than women. Just like there's 100 times more men who want to be plumbers, electricians, mechanics, construction workers. There's so many fields, right? So the thing isn't, oh, we need genuine sort of fairness and equality of opportunity for women. It went past that. And now it's like we need to shove women into this masculine framing. It's this constant comparison between the genders on like a competitive level, right? Why should? So someone will come and say, and this is also where people start framing every disparity as a problem, right? So obviously the so-called gender pay gap, that's been debunked forever.
Yeah.
But even the framing of it as a problem, if you take all this male salaries and all the female salaries or whatever, and men's earn, I don't know, 30% more.
Yeah.
I'm like, so what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Why is that inherently a problem? If this field is 90% male and 10% female, why is that inherently a problem? So people are trying to fix problems that don't exist. And anyone who fundamentally understands that men and women are different and have different proclivities and have different interests and have different aspirations. And what's really funny about it is you can inverse all of these things, right? So all these narratives that are used to make it that, women are, the victims and that they're oppressed by men or there's male privilege and this and that, you can invert all of them to sell the case that it's men who are oppressed and men who are victimized, right? So who spends more time at work? Men. Who make up 90% plus of workplace deaths? Men. Who are way more likely to commit suicide? Men. Who are more likely to be homeless? Men. Who live on average 3 to 5 years less, right? Can you imagine if women died 5 years earlier than men on average? Do you know we'd never hear the end of the gender life expectancy gap? No one gives a crap that men die 5 years earlier than women. Like it's not even. No. If it were the other way around, if women were dying earlier than men, we would never hear the end of it.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, people think you hear a lot about gender pay gap. And so this is the thing. And by the way, there's many reasons why men die more early than women. Like, just go on YouTube and watch any video of someone doing something stupid and dangerous. Guarantee you it's a man, right? And also testosterone has effects which can harm people. But it's just this very lopsided thing. Here's another thing that's interesting. You probably know this. Who controls majority of consumer spending? Who spends more money? Women spend more money than men.
Yeah.
So men earn more money and women spend more.
Yeah.
Who has the power there? Right? If you're going to play that game, would you rather be earning more money? Would you rather spend the money? Right? You see what I mean? But they never turn the narrative that way because it all has to sort of maintain this very specific structure of the identity politics and the grievance narratives and so on. And the truth is, ultimately, look, men and women are not meant to directly be in competition on everything.
Yeah.
We are designed. We exist to be complementary. Right? The strengths that men on average have are often things that women lack or are not as strong at. The things that women are incredibly good at, and generally, we all know there are things that men are generally better at than women.
Yeah.
There are things women are generally better at than men. It's supposed to be like that because we have two sexes, trigger some people, and we're designed to be complementary. Both exist, a 50-50 split within the population. That's not an accident.
Yeah.
And so when you put them together, you get a whole.
Yeah.
Right? When you have a man, you have a woman, you have a husband, you have a wife, you have a father, you have a mother. They play different roles, but together they're stronger than they would be alone. And so people have been like brainwashed. So many men have been brainwashed to think you have to compete with women and women are the enemy. Women have been brainwashed to think you have to compete with men. Men are the enemy. Men are out to get them. You know, the patriarchy is meeting every Tuesday at 3 to like find out how to put the boot down on those broads. And it's just nuts to me. I'm just like, why is there so much tension and hostility? And I know part of the answer. And some of that is also from previous generations, right? Sadly, especially in the USA, you know, sadly, millions and millions of people have grown up seeing dysfunction and seeing their parents or their friends' parents or other people they know have bad relationships, or the father, you know, if someone, look, I'm not going to knock any woman who grew up in a situation where, you know, their father left, or the dad was absent, or the dad was of course she's going to be drawn to the idea of not relying on a man and being strong and being independent and having her own, because she saw, well, my mom tried to rely on a man and look what happened. Right? So I can totally logically get where these ideas come. And when you multiply that by millions of people with those experiences, then you end up in this situation where women are more distrustful of men, men are more distrustful of women, and you get this sort of cycle that can kind of go around in a community where it just becomes this weird, you know, battle of the sexes, rather than being like, hey, we're different. Cool. Not only is that okay, that is good.
Yeah.
If women were the same as men, we wouldn't be attracted to them.
Yeah. well,
right?
Some people would.
I don't know your taste exactly, Aubrey, but I imagine that like your ideal man is not someone who is just like your female friends. Right? I imagine you'd rather, I think you'd probably be quite repulsed by a man who literally behaves exactly like a woman.
Yes.
Right? You're like, no.
Yeah.
Right? So that's just how it is. It's not a problem. It's literally how we got this far. Like our species would have ceased to exist a long time ago if there wasn't this healthy polarity.